Oh God.
Why? What? They're the best band in the universe.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are. They're so successful, they've broken the fourth wall and are selling extra stuff outside of their own series. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we are back with another episode of Macross Delta. Technically, we have watched 3 episodes now, and we are about to start episode 3?
Yes, episode 3.
Right. Sorry, the element that we watched pre-fetch edition of episode 1, which was 0.89. We watched 1 plus, which I guess is the deculture edition of episode 1.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then we watched episode 2. So again, technically we watched 3 episodes. Now we're about to start watching episode 3, which sounds weird. That's why I'm trying to explain it as well as I can. Alright. Well, of course, first off, we have the board. And with the board comes the board changelog, which is to say I added a bunch of Delta/Walkure crew members, mostly as of yet unnamed. I connected Hayate to Delta Squad, and I connected Freya to Walkure.
Mhm. Also, we have a new species. Well, more than one new species, but we have a new species. The people from Ragnar are their own.
Well, yeah,
Alien
I mean, I have
species.
them up here.
Yeah.
Under the new theory.
Mhm.
So we have the Windemirians, we have the Ragnans. I don't know what the name for them is, so I just say Ragnan for right now. And of course, whatever the white-faced guy is. I'm still assuming new species.
You mean Helmut Klaus?
Yeah.
I think he's Windermere too.
Well, he's from Windermere.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's his own species. And you might not recall from my notes from episode 1, considering you're going to be coming in with your own, probably to repeat stuff I've already said, I assume, because that's the way our notes work typically. But there's a guy in the picture of the VAR syndrome taking effect, who also looks like Hellman does, indicating there's more than just that one guy. That is not a thing on its own.
Anywho,
I don't know how to take that. You've anywho'd me the same way you do when I'm giving you a theory you don't like. It's like we're on the board. How are you anywhoing me already?
I mean, Windermerians, Ragnan, and you have a name for them. I guess United Forces would usually human in the new theory board.
I mean, that's from back at Macross 7.
But you put them on
Sorry, no, that's from
and
Macross
Ragnan,
Frontier. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well, it's because there's nothing changed since from Macross 7 to Macross Frontier, other than adding the nuns and the Vajra.
Yeah, the Immerman, what cool Freya, Weon, Roy.
Because technically, the new United Nations is also the Zentradi and humans.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the guy who is the guy with the glasses, and to be very studious, his name is Royd. I don't know, that's supposed to be a joke or something. Then again, we have an Ernest Johnson, so.
Well, some of us do.
Well, the show does.
He's a big guy.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see what break funny goes with him.
No comment.
All right, well, it seems like that's the end of your board and notices. So, of course, we always come into these with notes. Well, sometimes we do. Sometimes we do. Last time I had a full-on thing for episode 1 and 8.9. Well, sorry. I had a whole thing for episode 0.89. Now you have a whole thing for episode 1, which includes everything from 0.89, because 0.89 is basically 95% of episode 1. I have like 2 notes for episode 1, and then the rest I have for episode 2. So I guess you're going to have more, so I guess you go first. I said I guess like 5 times straight.
Yeah. Episode 1 plus Battlefield Prologue. Now, I will say that in the videos that we're looking at, the episode titles, typically the translations are very similar, but they're not exactly the same. So by seeing the next on the episodes, like, oh, this is the title of the next episode. But when I checked with the list of the names of the episodes that I had, it was not quite the same. So I've been going with my list and not what the translation was. Basically means the same, but you know.
I haven't really looked ahead, so I don't know.
So episode 1 plus Battlefield Prologue. My first note: we kick off the episode with an act of terrorism, and we're told that that is the result of Bar syndrome. So the stakes are set up front as a concept of the Delta Squadron Walkure, as well as the concept of Delta Squadron Walkure in stopping these violent outbreaks.
You sound like I do when I don't remember what I've written, and I'm just trying. Like it's a foreign concept that I'm reading.
Yeah. Well, most of my notes are going to be about how the first episode does what it's supposed to do, which is set up the rest of the show, and it does in a very efficient way. So,
I mean, by concept, what was my first note? Oh yeah, the breakdown of the map, because that's that's what I focus on.
mm-hmm.
All right, my first one, which is like from the end of the episode. In the fight scenes in episode 1 where Hayate and Freya are doing their thing, I swear they brought in a hentai artist to draw these characters' O faces. There is just something about Freya when she's excited and singing in the midst of a fight that feels way too excited, if you follow me. When she looks over at Hayate, exactly the same thing from him.
Of the horny count, I guess.
Just the look on their faces, like you said, that's why I very specifically said O face. Like recently, I've been watching Infinite Rivals, right? And people want to point out to me in the comments that, hey, I don't think you noticed, but Stein was masturbating in the back of the room. It's like, oh, okay.
I guess I didn't want to know about
Infinite Rivals, the characters are stuck on a ship, and there's this thing called a fixed backyard, which is basically this alien thing, which is making people go crazy. The backyard is like the territory within the area where you get these mental problems. So Stein is this character who's like perfectionist, but for some reason, as the show's been going on, he's been getting off on human suffering, essentially. He's in this position of power, and he's just been using it to hurt people without them knowing, essentially. As like groups, like he's been segregating people into groups, and like, oh yeah, now you got to work for these work credits in order to eat food, and if you don't do that, you know, all this shit. And apparently, in one episode, he's in the back of the round of the scene, just masturbating at his command console at all these people that are suffering because of what's going on. It's like, oh, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, not something I wanted to know, but now that I do, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if you go back, he is making some weird faces, some real, what I'm referring to here, faces. And it's like, yeah. Well, no, I mean, the same way, like, when Freya, she's singing and she's grinning at Hayate, and it's like, you are really into this, and like, in a way that I don't feel like I'm really going to support you in a fight. Like, I don't...
I mean, they do go naked. Barbie doll and Kendall and Anime naked, but they still go naked.
Yeah, but I'm not even talking about that. Like, I'm just talking about, like, you're just way into this, man. Like if I saw you were building a fence, and you looked over at me, and it looked like you just came in your pants, I'm like, whoa, you really fucking like that fence.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I feel uncomfortable fighting you.
Pounding those boards on the ground.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we don't need to describe this more. But I'm just you know, like when people used to talk about like the NBA back in the day, and they're like, "Oh no, you got to go guard with Dennis Rodman. That guy's weird." Like that sort of thing. Like I feel weird fighting you because I feel like we're not doing the same thing here. I'm trying to protect my people, and you're getting off on this.
I mean, we already discussed O faces in Macross 7. especially when what was her name?
Sybil, yeah.
Yeah, that was her. That was like her deep. She was either angry or she had an old face.
No, it wasn't anger. She was literally disgusted by something. Because remember, it was always like she's either like oh, or ah. It's one of these two things is happening.
Yeah. So there you go, reviving that tradition that I didn't know we needed to, but that's Macross for you, I guess.
That's Macross, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Stealing your thing.
Mm-hmm. I also like to see. I like what we see. I also like that we see the technology used in Valkyries applied to civilian use. Not the first time we see this, but certainly upfront, and again use. For those who might be watching Macross for the first time, a good piece of world building.
Which technology are you referring to?
The power loaders, right? That they're basically battle droid Valkyries.
Actually, they call them work droids.
Work droids, yeah.
They're doing the Gundam thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. So if Freya's heart thing is her rune, like I guessed before, the more it glows, the more power it seems to project. Like, it's glowed when she was excited before, but when she started to sing, it started floating up and out of her hair, and that's when Hayate shared a vision with her flying through bright blue skies. I'm going to have to guess that will be our new method of sharing culture, literally sharing a vision with people through song.
Yeah. But also I think, well, I don't think, it is pretty obvious that this show is Macross meets, techno magic girls, basically, magical girls.
Well, no, it's just combining all the past elements of all the other shows. That's what I referenced before, because remember, at the end of Frontier, I was like, why don't they just use this sort of holographic technology all over the place? And that's what we're doing. 8 years after the fact, now we're just doing that.
Mm-hmm. So then, I love how efficient the first few minutes of the show are at establishing Hayate and Freya. Hayate is skilled but lazy. Freya is flighty but quick-witted and loaded with a secret or secrets.
I don't know if she's loaded with secrets. Literally, I called her out as being a liar from like moment one.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a call here and say that the rest of my notes are from episode 2. You have episode 2 notes later on, right? Mm-hmm. That I'm just going to let you finish your episode 1 notes, and then we'll catch up together and start at episode 2 at the same point. In notes, I mean.
Okay. I also like that we see more Centrati and not just second to fourth generation mix with humans doing everyday jobs. Like Hayate's boss is clearly Centrati, right?
Is he?
Yeah, he's Centrati. He's
green
skin with.
I know we watched the episode twice, but I didn't.
The one that gives him the pink slip, like literally, yo, you're fired. This is your last day.
Well, I mean, the element that you basically went back and rewatched episode 1 to take your notes. Mm-hmm. I only watched the last 2 minutes because I'd already seen episode 1 and took notes on everything. Yeah. I remember he's like blue skinned, but I don't remember thinking he was Entrati or not.
Yeah, he's green. He's more green.
We're introducing a lot of new alien races. I don't automatically assume anyone is any one race, except for a future note where I automatically assume somebody is a race.
And then you see also in the crowd, you see Centrati, you see other people as well, like, probably locals and whatnot. So, yeah. What is an organismic fold? It may well be an organic foldability, such as that of space whales or the Vajra, which means that the Var syndrome falls into its victims, or at least is activated remotely through a fold signal.
No, I mean, I discussed that with my whole breakdown from last episode of what the Var syndrome does, or the elements of it that we are aware of, because I believe that's just the case. Because remember that Renka, sorry, I am blank. No, I'm not blanking. I just don't know where to go with this because my mind is going in different directions. The Vajra do it because they have fold crystals within them. Renka did it because she had a disease that went to her brain and that she was able to become immune to or cured of. That obviously she didn't get cured of, she still has it. So immune to, she is symbiotic with, I guess, is actually the thing.
Yeah, but that deceit came from the Vajra.
Yeah, no, I get that, but
the
the element that she doesn't. Because I was thinking for a minute, did she grow fold crystals within her because of the disease, and that's how it works? Because otherwise, why do the Vajra need fold crystals to do this if they have the biological component to do it without it? Like, why does the disease that inhabits
No, I
Ranka?
think no. The thing is with the fold crystals in the Vajra is that it's a natural outgrowth of their process, especially when they die. They have fold crystals.
That just sounds like cancer. With the way
Yeah.
you're describing it, makes it sound like they have the biological capability of doing fold stuff, and that the fold crystals within them are growths because of the fold stuff that they do. So that makes it sound like cancer. But
yeah, it could be
I felt like the show was implying that the fold crystals were necessary on the Vajra side to do things. But then, if the infection is capable of allowing a person to do fold stuff, then the fold crystals aren't necessary.
No.
I don't remember how I got here. I got so lost in the sauce, I don't remember what the conversation was before.
Well, it's about the organismic.
Right. I think if we're going with the element that fold crystals are no longer required, or that the Vajra had a biological component that allowed them to do it, then that introduces essentially midichlorians.
Yeah.
That midichlorians are a thing. Not literally, but I mean figuratively. Force midichlorians, fold communications.
Yeah.
Midichlorians. I know, whatever the word we want to use here is. Organismic.
Yeah. But I like this version better.
I will actually, since we're on the topic and it doesn't really connect to anything here, I want to say that probably this is a connection that could fit back to Macross 7.
How so?
There is a mixture of things that I feel like Basara connects to here. Like, I have a future note about how one of our main characters is essentially a mixture of a bunch of our main characters from previous shows. But, sorry, I'm blanking out here on what I actually mean. It's a thought process I was having before, and then I didn't particularly take a note about it because I think you would argue with me about it because you don't particularly like the elements of Macross 7 to cross over into other things. But you know what? I'm just going to abandon the thought. I can't remember what I was about to say, and I'm just going to fall on deaf ears on this one. If it comes back to me at some point, I might bring it up later, but not right now.
Yeah. Next note then. Again, this episode is very good at giving us snapshots of the characters. Like one of the Walkure singers is a mecha otaku, and Mirage Farina Genius is a stickler for the rules. I also sense that this will be the show's romantic triangle, i.e., Mirage or Farina, Hayate, and Freya.
Sorry, your conclusion about what the love triangle is, I had a note on, and so this goes into episode 2, but it connects to what you just said, and I'm not going to read the whole note because it's a paragraph, but I'll read the first sentence. So the opening lyrics say, "If I'm allowed to fall in love only this once," and the two characters that cross the animation of, for some reason I keep writing Hayato instead of Hayate, are Freya and Mirage, so I have to think that is our love triangle this season.
I guess we agree on that one, or could be. Just a random note, because I noticed in one of the battle sequences both times, like, yeah, that's a. Well, screw that Toyota Prius in particular. Somebody doesn't like Toyota Priuses.
Is it Prius?
That
was Prius.
Yeah, it's a Prius. Or Prius. Yeah, say Prius.
I don't know vehicles enough. Like, I don't.
Yeah. Because there's a bunch of cars and there's a battle pod destroying them, and clearly one of them is a Toyota Prius, and it just
again, you say clearly. I remember the previous argument we had when I said obviously, and you're like, obvious, not so obvious. I didn't, Well, this is for me. I don't know enough about vehicles to have obviously anything when it comes to
I love how the Valkyries and the singers are coordinated, as well as the fact that the singers are not merely there for show, but actively participate to protect civilians and defeat the bar's outbreak.
Well, not super coordinated.
I mean, they're apparently well trained.
No,
I
it's a
mean, the
plot
other
point.
guy,
Remember?
huh?
It's a plot point that
Yeah,
they're not.
one of them, that's Mirage,
Yeah.
Farina, and she needs. But what I mean is that normally it would just be they were just singing, and then the fighting would be happening. This time around, they're part and partial of.
I mean, to be fair, in
The whole
Macross
time.
7, the pilots were in the cockpit with the singer, so
Yeah.
jamming
But the
birds
thing
I'm
is, they're
talking
just
about.
singing. Yeah, they were just singing. They were not, they were
Well,
not
they didn't have the
manipulating.
technology nor the training that Walkier has.
Yeah.
Legitimately, that's another element that transfers from Macross 7. Is that what did Barton want to do? He wanted to train these girls to be able to do or be what Walkier is. Literally, this is a projection of everything Barton wanted to accomplish. My boy Barton still succeeding, unless you count the manga. In which case, Barton turning his back on all of his beliefs.
And of course, we have a civilian jump into a mech to save the heroine from the baddies.
Not maybe theft of military equipment, but not itself illegal.
I didn't say it was illegal. I just said that
No,
that's
I've
something
given
that we've seen
previous
before.
arguments in like Gundam, I think, where a civilian doing this would be an illegal action. But I think it turns them from a civilian into a combatant, and which makes them a target on the battlefield, a legal target. Because the moment you become you get rid of your civilian status, which makes you a non-target in the battlefield.
Farina punches out Hayate, like, don't do that. You're making it dangerous for everybody. And by the way, that's a, military hardware kind of situation, She gets called back and she's like, oh, talk to our PR department. But she's like,
well, no, her boss, commander of Delta Squadron, literally says something behind her, and she's like, if you want to report me, go ahead.
Yeah.
And that's when he appears later in the next episode at the place. I was like, are you here to report me? So, I mean, granted, this is like every time I brought up Shin getting slapped by Atherin in Gundam Seed Destiny, and I'm like, you could take him up on this. This is literally, not... sorry, I want to say insubordination, but that's not right. This is literally something you could bring up to tribunal, and they never do. And that's the same thing here. It's not right what she does, but at the same time, he doesn't report it, so starting this relationship off with domestic violence.
And my final note for this episode, at least for me, the music is catchy as hell.
I say it's catchy as hell, but I do enjoy it. And the lyrics, it's finally the first time in, well, not the first time, Macross 7 lyrics made sense. It's the first time I keep saying the first time. My brain gone today. It is a series where the lyrics make sense, and it's not just crazy words jumbled together on a beat that sounds good. Like, I go back to, like, My Boyfriend's a Pilot, and it's like, how does this apply to anything? Whereas I can read the lyrics of what they're singing in their battle scenes, and it's like, okay, I could see this. This works. You're trying to bring this guy back, and you're singing a love song at him, sort of. And it's like, okay, yeah, I get that. That's good.
I mean, My Boyfriend's a Pilot clearly is a propaganda song, right? To people, so people join the UN space.
Right, but the idea back in SDF Macross is you could sing anything at this Atrani. Yeah. It didn't fucking matter. Like, back to my point about airing porn at them, like, literally anything would have worked.
Mm. Yeah.
Again, though, as over the top they went just at the image of Minmay, I think porn would have been the thing. Legitimately, it would have, like, blown their minds.
Oh. Rolling something, all right. So I'm on episode
different
2.
Show. Although the easiest to make porn version of any show I've ever seen.
Up to you then.
We stopped the war with pornography.
I did echo. Anyway, your turn then. Now that we're in the second episode.
The zoom-in shot of Hayate dance fighting has a number of boxes on the bottom of the screen that say complementary colors in French, with rose coral, cyan blue, and viridian in each box. Literally written in each box, not like the boxes are those colors. Although they are multiple colors, I did not investigate that. It doesn't mean much now, but the fact that Freya constantly describes sound in colors, and this computer readout is calling out specific colors, just making a note of it.
It might be I mean, hard to say, but it might be that his dancing also is on the same wavelength as
You didn't
the folding.
put this in your notes, but I put it in mine, so we discussed this before already. But remember that she describes his color as blue.
Yeah.
And cyan blue is one of the colors being listed when he's dancing.
Okay, so to my note on episode 2. So window mirrors have runes that glow when they are excited and serve as fold receptors, similar to fold crystals, perhaps. Since regular humans don't have those, this may yet be another offshoot created by the protoculture.
I don't know why they'd be created by the protoculture. They could just be existing humans.
Yeah, but so far, and I think we were told this in the classroom in Dynamite, that multiple species have been discovered that they're offshoots of the protoculture. I'm going with that. And there was a brief shot when they were in this planet. I forgot the species of the planet. The ones that have the frills on their arms. And the teacher was saying, "Oh, by the way, no, actually, it was in Frontier. In the classroom in Frontier, it's like, oh, we discovered like a half a dozen species, all of them influenced by the protoculture. So humanoid species are considered to be influenced by the protoculture. So they could be just another species that got.
I don't know that applies to everything.
Oh, unless I have other information otherwise, because that would explain why they're so similar.
No, I'm not like debating your ability to form theories. I mean, you have your own theories. I'm just sounding off my thoughts about your theory the same way you do mine, except I'm just saying it doesn't exactly fit in with everything that I'm thinking. Like, it doesn't oppose it, but for some reason it's like, I have this puzzle piece here, and I feel like you're bringing in a puzzle piece from a different board. It doesn't seem to mesh with my puzzle pieces.
Well, in the absence of any other evidence, well...
Yeah, no, I mean, that's what we work with most of the time when people tell us that, like, this is actually kind of AU and it doesn't fit in with the rest of the series. And it's like, well, in the absence of contradictory information, then we can still fill in the gaps with what's given to us here. So, I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you. For me, this is a feel thing. This doesn't feel right to me. So I'm not automatically incorporating it into my theories.
Okay.
I mean, to be fair, if a theory works, it should work in the absence of some information still.
To your next point, then.
Well, my next point is a breakdown of the opening, which I already started off with the thing where we both were talking about Freya and Mirage being the love interests of Hayate this season. Also fairly obvious, the Walkure formation has 5 colored Valkyries in it, and only 4 members we've met by the first time we saw the opening. It doesn't seem like none of the members of Walkure pilot their own Valkyries, though, so clearly one of them must be Hayate.
Yeah. I mean, Delta, the fighter pilots, and
yeah,
well, the singers are Walkure. Yeah.
The opening seems to be set on Ragna, so I have to think it will be the primary location of the show. According to the character shots of the opening, Chuck spends his time as a cook. Messer is seen entertaining kids while a girl his age blushes at him from around a corner, so side character romance going on. Makina seems to be a mechanic in her spare time. Reina listens to music and programs. Mystery Redhead, which I got the name of later, Buccaneer, hangs out with Arad, and Makumo pulls a Basara, which is we just see her standing on a cliffside looking out, not being around anybody else. The Windermere guys seem to be superimposed with a little girl wearing a royal crown, so I guess a princess that they serve. Curious enough, though, that they show us so much else but to hide the identity of this person, because, they're like a shadow background over them. As always, the question is why. Obviously, we couldn't know who she is unless it's someone we could suspect her of being, thus the need to hide her face. Except not 30 seconds later, they just show her side by side with the glasses guy from Windermere, which we also now know is Royd. So it's a pointless hide. I don't know why they hid her and then 30 seconds later show her. The Windermere stuff all has its own language, so no ability to read the displays for any extra information. Stupid note, when Hayate is in the cockpit of the Valkyrie in the opening, the text is aligned so that we, the audience, can read it, meaning that it's backwards for Hayate. The only info it gave anyways was that he's piloting a VF-31. Then the very next scene shows one of them taking off with that etched on the side of the plane, VF-31 Siegfried. And lastly, we got some shots of Mirage and Hayate flying back to back like Max and Milia used to. A shot implying that Messer and White Knight are foes. Also, White Knight's a character I got the name of, but I don't remember it off the top of my head. Refer back to the board if you like.
Talking about Royd, in my sense, Royd's, there's a discussion with another character, and it says, oh, we're running out of time. And then running out of time for what exactly?
Oh, the Queen. Queen
Yeah,
Princess.
but we don't, I mean.
Oh, she's sick.
Where do we get that she's sick?
Oh, it's somewhere in my notes. Hold on. I'm going to skip down then to answer this question. I think this is the note. My initial guess was that Hines was going to be the name of the one pilot with the white stuff on his face, and that maybe that was a disease and not a shared racial quality. But in an ironic twist, that guy's name is Hellman. For those that don't know, Heinz and Hellman are both condiment companies. Anyway, I guess my second guess would be the as of yet unnamed and unseen Queen character from the opening, implying that maybe that they are acting as a matter of their head of state's health. Sorry, I realized I didn't write down why I wrote any of this. They refer that Hines is ill, and that's why they have to be acting on all this stuff.
Okay, but
yeah, and they don't imply who Hines is, and this is my note about who Hines might be, which is to say that Queen character that we see in the opening.
I didn't catch anything of that, but
that happens in the scene where White Knight I can't remember his name, goes to talk to Royd about why, because it happens right after the scene where the rest of the Windermere squadron shows up, like, why did we have to leave? Why? And he's like, I'll find out, and then he goes and talks to Royd, and Royd brings up Hines. Hines' health condition isn't getting any better, or something like that.
I probably didn't catch that part.
Well, and I got a joke about that scene too, so I guess that's not going to play so well for you.
Ragnar doesn't have sea lions; he has sea cats, or actually sea kittens. Also, Ragnar seems to be aliens, but similar to humans. Again, my theory that I guess protoculture seeded the galaxy with their genes and created all these alien species. They seem to be either Okinawan or Polynesian theme. And yes, I know those two cultures are not the same.
Well, yeah, I mean, Okinawa is on the east side of the Pacific, and the Polynesian civilizations are on the west side. Right, that's my next note, actually.
Actually, it's the other way around, because Japan is on the west side of the Pacific.
If you put the center of the Pacific at the center of the Pacific, then Okinawa would be on the east side, and the Polynesian island chains would be on the west side. I don't know how you're saying they'd be in reverse. No, because
Oh, east, yeah.
The east side would be on the east side. Listen to me. The east side would be on the west coast, near the west coast, or on the side facing the west coast of the United States. The west side of the Pacific would be on the side of Japan. So,
and that's where Okinawa would be. No, it would be east.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, you're right. I'm thinking of the wrong island. That's what it is. Sorry. You said Okinawa, and I thought Honolulu for some reason.
Yeah, I know. Actually, Honolulu would be right kind of near the middle. So,
well,
yeah.
I mean, it would in relation to one another. Sorry, that was the mistake I was making. Technically, I was right to what I was thinking, wrong to what you were saying. I don't know why I conflated Okinawa with Honolulu. Not even the same language. All right, well, as I said, my next note. I'm going to do my best to stop making the joke, but every time they throw the Walkir W sign with their hands, know that I'm thinking West Side in my head. Everyone of a certain generation is probably thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, there's got to be a recut somewhere online. Just them
West
throwing hand signs and people in the background. West Side.
I appreciate that chaos was written in Greek on the side of the headquarters building. Something to notice was like, because I see some letters. It's like actually it means chaos and it's in Greek. But that's the name of the.
I already covered this when it comes to the recruitment poster and the fact that it I translated it all and the from part of the chaos thing. Mirage says it during a thing, and I equated it because it looked like my translation was a bunch of nonsense, mumbled garbage, and it turns out all of the stuff on there was true, so well translated. So Arad confirms that Freya's heart thing is a rune, making her a Windemarian, but automatically causing him to ask if she has a fold receptor factor. The answer to which was yes, giving meaning to the Walkir members feeling her singing, and that one reading her on a fold scanner. Essentially making me think that Walkir, and possibly all Windemarians, are like Renka Lee, just without the Vajra infection. Considering the Vajra stuff was only 8 years ago, and these characters would have been maybe 10-ish at the time, if they were all affected by the Vajra song during that time.
Oh, could be. Or it could be independent, or it could be something that predates the protoculture, because the Vajra have been around for a very long time. So,
well, I think you're misreading what I mean. I just mean that were they affected by the Vajra just singing? I don't mean like were they infected by it. I just mean like this is a thing that was happening galaxy-wide. Were they affected by it since they can pick up on fold signals?
Could be.
You know, like any fish in the ocean can hear a whale song, right? The Vajra would be whales, except for the instance where whales also fucking exist for some reason.
I love that even as a Micronized Centrati, Ernest Johnson is still a giant of a man.
Well, I mean, I guess you can just choose, right?
No, actually, no, because their Micronized forms, they come in different sizes. Like, remember, Clan had a situation where
maybe she just lacked options. So, I mean, this dude's a captain. I mean, he might just have the authority to make whatever size he wants to be.
No, but we've seen Centrati Micronized, like tall ones, short ones.
Yeah, who's to say they didn't choose? Or maybe they didn't have the option to choose. Like, maybe normal civilian Centrati just get whatever they can get. Whereas this guy had the option. Like, who's to say Britai didn't? Maybe that's why Britai was a badass. He was a commander. He was able to choose.
But you wouldn't. I think it would be very difficult to choose a size that clearly is uncomfortable as a Micronaut, because he has to bend over and climb, and it seems pretty uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Why would he choose that?
Why? Well, then why wouldn't he just stay in macro form anyway? I mean, it's like you're saying, why would he choose it? I don't know. I'm not Ernest. I'm not Ernest Johnson. I can't. We have met him once. I don't know what his personality is like. Maybe he really just wants to be big. Maybe he's like, this is inconvenient, but wait until I get into that room and show.
Next note, then. Your next note.
Zoomed in on Hayate's very blurry readout. He's 17. Date of birth is September 21st, 2047. So during the events of Macross Dynamite 7. He's 6'7", apparently, and 190 pounds. And he's blood type B.
If he's 6'7", and there are people that are taller than him,
I stared at them. I stared at it for a long time, and it's like, no, it's very clearly connecting. The back end of that is a round connecting line, which means that's a 6. That's not a 5 in a blurred format. That is a 6. They wrote 6'7". Well, here's the thing. The incredulity of how tall he would be compared to everybody that seems to be taller than him.
Yeah.
It's like, it's space. Maybe people just getting taller as time goes on. Gravity has less of an effect, and we're living in more gravity, less than 1G environments. Maybe people are just getting taller. The thing that had me questioning it was the 190 pounds. Because it's like, it's 190. It's written right under the 6'7". So it's like, clearly that must be weight. But I can't read the number, or I can't read the letters to see if it actually says pounds. So it's like, maybe it's in kan, which is another form of weight measure they have in Japan. It's like, nope, that'd be 1,000 pounds. He's not a ton. So
Yeah.
I couldn't figure it out.
190 at
So,
6'7", he would be so real thin he wouldn't walk. Basically.
well, maybe he has thin bones. Like, again, maybe low gravity is taking its toll on human exploration.
Now this I think this is going to be a chunky episode paragraph. So the Windermerians fought a war of independence, according to Ernest Johnson. But again, against who or whom? Nuns, the United Nations. And if the enemy makes our Windermerians, why are they attacking other colonies? I get protecting your own culture and national status, especially from what appears to be an ever expansionist and colonialist human culture and government. But these actions seem far more than defensive in nature. Was Freya home? Was Freya's home and perhaps family destroyed because they were pro-human? You know, you have that she has the image of looking into something that's burning.
No, I know. I
Although
brought it up.
one image, either a home
notes,
or
I called her a liar.
Or a ship. I don't really know if it's a home or a ship. It's very difficult to tell.
Probably a ship, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Because I would assume she's actually other. She might not actually be Windermerian. I mean, I'm assuming she is, but there's evidence to that you could conclude that she might not be. Yeah, I mean, I could see what you're saying, because if she is such a fan of the Walkier, that would be the Earth culture that they're trying to subvert, which was as mentioned in the same line that you're bringing up.
Oh, the other way around. No, that they find Earth culture to be subversive to their culture.
No,
like
they say, God damn it, where did I have somewhere in my notes. Oh yeah, no, they're cracking down on Earth culture. Windermere has been very strict on immigration since the War of Independence and has cracked down on Earth culture.
Yeah, the influence of Earth culture coming in and subverting their culture.
They're subverting Earth culture by cracking down on it. They're cracking down. It's the same meaning. We're saying the same thing with different words. If you're cracking down on Earth culture, you're getting rid of it. You're subverting it. Yeah.
No, but subvert. The problem is that subversion.
If you're trying to remove it from society, you're subverting it. I mean, essentially, you're getting rid of it. Like, you're pushing it out of the way. Like,
no, but subversion doesn't mean that. Subversion means that something that is existing and is trying to introduce itself into that culture and undermine it. Not the same thing as getting rid of it.
Well, no, you're undermining. You're undermining the Earth culture.
You're but their culture is not from there.
No, I'm saying you're undermining the Earth culture by removing it
from Windermere.
Yes,
but the thing is, okay, and we're getting into semantics here, but
I don't find
Earth culture.
You know what?
Our culture wasn't native to Windermere, right?
I think we need to come to an agreement here that pedancy gets us nowhere. Right.
Right.
Look,
but in this case, I think
in most cases, I'm the one who's pedantic, right? So I think. Well, no. Here's the thing. What I'm saying to you is, I'm saying you're being pedantic right now, and I'm saying I understand that most of the time I'm being pedantic. That maybe we need to come to an agreement. Like, we should have like a line or something. We should say, "Hey, this is just being pedantic," and you're like, "Okay, that should be our line to just move on from the conversation of that."
Either way, they don't want Earth influence on their culture.
That's what I'm saying. We're both saying the same thing. We're just being pedantic about it for no reason.
No, misuse of the word, I guess.
And that's why we don't ever move on from a conversation. Even when I'm saying, we're just being pedantic, we're agreeing, we're being pedantic, and you're like, yes, but. That's the name of our next game show. Yes, but. We're competing directly with actually.
Go ahead.
I wonder if the stuff coming off of their hair, their runes, has something to do with a person's place in Windermere society. All the pilots only seem to have a single rune coming off of their hair. Royd and what appears to be the queen have 2 green runes. Freya has a heart, which is completely different to every other Windermere that we've seen.
Yeah, they seem to have stars, not hearts.
Well, that was what I was indicating before when I was talking about there's evidence, or at least you could make the suggestion that whatever Freya is might not be Windermere.
She seemed to have been raised in that culture.
Doesn't mean anything. You could be an immigrant from somewhere else.
So other people also have runes as well?
What are you talking about? Elaborate, I guess would be the better way to say.
If she comes from somewhere else and she has a rune, did she acquire the rune when she became when she was in Windermere, or that other species also have runes as
I
well?
mean, Ragna have gills. Fish have gills. Don't have to be related.
But she is identified as a Windermere because she has a rune. So
I think she identifies as Windermere because she's from Windermere.
no, but other people say, "Oh, she's a Windermere because she has that rune." They call it out.
Right. Well, I mean, like I'm saying, there's mystery. I'm not saying it's proof. I'm saying it's evidence that you could make the argument from. Like, humans look like fucking humans. If you got into an accident and were a Zentradi but had pale skin, you fucking look like a human. Like, there's just certain things that the fact that we've not seen anybody else with runes, I don't think is a byproduct of saying nobody else has runes. I think it's a product of this is the first time we've encountered anybody with runes. I think if this was like Star Trek, this would be the episode where we made like a social faux pas because we don't know what's going on.
Going to something, I think you also have the same note on me, so I guess. First, we have Hayate playing the role of Hikaru Alto by jumping onto a mech to save the designated heroine. But now, in this episode, he's doing the Isamu hand gesture across the sky. So, yeah.
Well, actually, my literally last note is Hayate is a kind of a mix of Isamu, Alto, and Basara. I didn't put in Hikaru into that mix.
Basara?
There's, God damn it. Here's the problem. I didn't write that all out. He says something during the last episode that very much was Basara-like, which is funny because he said it, which just makes him very.
Yeah, he hates the army.
Yeah, that was it. I hate the army, and I'm going to do whatever I want, and it's very much Basara joining a Sound Force.
I'll put that on Hikaru. Hikaru actually says it first. Like literally, Hikaru has a short conversation with Roy. It's like when Roy is like, "Oh, but you're going to war. What's about war?
Here's
you're
the difference there. Here's the difference there. If Hikaru said that, he didn't fucking live up to it because he fucking does whatever the army tells him to, and he's instantly on board with all of it. He becomes a squad
and
fucking leader.
just joined a squadron who's going to have to follow orders. They say that you can do whatever you want, but that's not true.
You've interrupted the point here, which is to say that Basara fucking says it and then does it the rest of the show. He doesn't fucking listen to whatever they say. In fact, they bring him in for a meeting. He fucking ignores them, then walks out. Basically gives them the middle finger as he's going through the door. Basara lives the talk, whereas Hikaru didn't. So, if I'm going to say he's one of the two, then right now, it's up in the air. He could become a Hikaru, and which is to say, I'm not going to do what you say. I'm instantly going to do everything you say. Or he's going to be a Basara, which says, I'm not going to do what you say, and doesn't do what they say. So, one or the other. And Basara, I'm going to say, is the more recent in memory.
I think he's going to go and be more like Hikaru, because...
you want him to be.
You know. Well, yeah, true. But also, it's like it doesn't work otherwise. Because he literally called out Farina by not being in time with everyone else. If he's doing his own thing...
He didn't call her out. He insulted her. Because he was like, you just fucking punched me. What can I do to hurt you back? I'm not going to punch a woman. So, I can at least insult you to your face.
Well, he was right, though, and she knew he was right.
Yeah, so but I mean, at the same time, one of those connections that I described before is essentially this is an extension of Sound Force. Like I was mentioning before, this is Barton's dream come to light. Or not his dream, this is one of his side projects, as it turns out. But this is the Jamming Angels given their ultimate form, I guess. So, having him become a Basara in that situation doesn't seem too crazy. I mean, legitimately, he says, "Oh, you were out of sync with everybody else." And it's like, for what, that 5-second moment where you were all in sync? Because otherwise, you guys were like doing your own things all over the place.
Yeah, but it calls out the fact that these people had to coordinate themselves. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
Only when they fly in formation, but they do practically none of the time. At least not
No, but
in that scene, anyway. Obviously, we don't know what their future endeavors are going to be like. Maybe they do practice like group formations all the time. Like in the opening, they do the fly in and then spread apart thing. But in the actual moment where we see them engaged, literally the Valkyries are doing their own thing, don't have to be organized, and then they're doing their own thing on the ground. So,
well, he does call that to in order to keep the centrality inside the radius of the song.
Sorry, when I say when they're not doing things together, I don't mean that they're not like flying formations or whatnot. I just mean that they're not like organized with the Valkyr doing very specific like flight formations to do the whole we're giving like a concert feel sort of thing.
Oh, Farina was the one who dropped the whole red color thing that expanded the concert, the visual thing, because she flies off and then
Right,
and
but
then they
that
have all
has
these
nothing to do
holograms.
with flying in formations for a visual effect sort of thing is what I'm talking about. Like, they're not doing like synchronized flying. Like, they're not doing a Blue Angels sort of thing. They are doing combat maneuvers, and then Valkyr is over here doing their own thing. And only for like a split second did they fly in a formation to do a concert type effect. So that's what I'm saying. There's no synchronized anything right now that we have seen, despite what Hayate is calling out her failure to be.
Well, there's that one part where I think it was Misato, that she literally jumps in and it's riding one of the Valkyries down, and she's kind of like holding a rope and doing the thing. So that has to be coordinated as well.
No, that's coordination between those two, but that's not a group-wide coordination. That's what I'm saying. They're not doing any Blue Angel shit, right? They're not doing flight-wide coordination for one united effect. They are doing their thing, and then for like 5 seconds they do a group thing, and then go back to doing their thing, which is to say the combat or the reining in.
Well, I'm guessing that in order for it to become more effective, they'll have to act that way, which means Hayate will either have to fall in line or take the lead.
Well, as I said before, yet to be seen.
That was my note, or that was your note?
That was your note that I added to with one of my notes, so I guess my note now. Was it? Yeah, no, sorry, yeah. I was looking back one of my other ones. Hold on, I zoomed up. Okay, yeah, this is the funny one for me that you're not going to appreciate as much because you weren't paying attention to the scene, I guess. When Keith confronts Royd about why they pulled back from the fight, he comments about opening a window due to the lack of wind. Just another in a series of repeated references to the wind and the color of it in the show. Also, couldn't let it go unmentioned, Royd has a pillar with a ton of different styles of glasses in his room.
I remember the one he says open a window to let the wind in.
Well, that's the one where they talk about Hines, the scene that you don't seem to remember. The Hines being the
I remember the scene. I don't remember that specific.
That's what he says. I think that's what he says during the scene, the part of the scene I'm referring to, because Keith is walking towards camera, and that's when he says open the window, and on the very right-hand side is this like pillar with glass around it, and just like every kind of glasses you can imagine. Like, the dude is like, I need glass. I need a selection of glasses. Like, if you walk into an eye store, what do you call it?
Optometrist?
Ophthalmologist. Is that the same thing? I said optometrist. You said ophthalmologist. I know an optometrist is.
Optometrist is, well, it would be optometrist because it would be a glass.
Well, either way, that section of a jewelry department in a store, even where you have the little spinny thing, it's like different glasses all the way down. That's what that pillar is for that guy. Yeah. I thought it was funny, but again, if you don't remember the scene, it's not even...
I remember the scene. What I don't remember specifically is saying that Hines was sick. I remember everything else. That was the part I missed. Because I was wondering why they're talking about running out of time. That's why the question came out, because I didn't catch that.
Well, I guess it also comes back to two different jokes for me. Again, because it's Heinz, and I thought Heinz might be Hellman, and Hellman is also a condiment company like Heinz is. So it's like, oh, this is kind of a funny thing, which I didn't actually do on purpose. Like, maybe it's that other guy with the white stuff on his face, and the white stuff is actually sickness, and that's what we're seeing. Maybe this is like a side effect of Farr syndrome or something. And then it's like, oh, wait, no, that guy's name is Hellman. Hellman makes condiments. Heinz makes condiments. Ha ha! Belly laugh.
The thing also that he's such a bookworm that if you were to open a window and there seems to be some kind of castle or something, all those papers would fly off and stuff like that. So I think that's the whole
Maybe
reference.
he's
So I
getting.
wouldn't.
Maybe he's getting. What do you call it? Librarian high. It's a thing. Books have a very specific type of fungus that grows. Not fungus. Mold. Yeah, it's a very specific kind of mold that grows in them. So older libraries that are more prone to like moisture
Mhm.
get a certain type of mold, and you can get like a book high.
That used to be in my university. When you went for you need to go to specific the main repository. That's how you say that. Of books. They always have to wear masks because humidity and all that. So
I mean, mold's not good for you.
no, it is not. Uh, and this is just a throwaway line, but that's my final line here. So both of our main. Mhm.
Sorry, I was trying to Google it real quick to see if I could figure it out, and I Googled "getting high" on book mold library, and instantly in full caps. But attention, kids, you can't get high walking through the rare book section of the library. Okay, good warning.
Yeah. Anyway, my final note. So both of our mains found what they were looking for in Wildcore Delta, or at least we think that. Now we get to see if they are up to the challenge.
Oh, it's interesting that you're already out of notes, even though you
Mhm.
came with more, and I still have a few more to go. I
Yeah,
guess yours were
I
all
didn't make any
mostly
notes
in.
about.
Yeah, yours were
Yeah.
mostly in episode 1, where all of mine are obviously episode 2. All right, well, then technically Freya stole that weird phone thing. They slapped it on her wrist, and it formed a contract with her when she tapped it, but it then asked to begin the payment process, which is where Hayate pulls her away and ran off. Essentially, she signed a contract for a new phone and then ran off with it before making the first payment, leaving me to wonder if it would even work.
I mean, there's also the fact that she didn't ask for it to be slapped on her wrist. So,
But again, she signed the contract, essentially.
I don't think that contract would be valid.
I think it might be. We don't know what it did when she tapped it. Like,
yeah, if contract law is the way I remember it, I would be like a lawyer.
you're
Like, nope,
way
that's not.
outside of your spectrum on this one. This is literally, one, it's space. Two, it's an
Yeah.
alien race. Like,
Mhm.
contract law as I know it here on Earth in modern times, pre Zintrati genocide. Sorry, obviously you already think this, so this one question isn't going to fall anywhere. You think Ernest Johnson is a Zentradi?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're literally meeting new races all the goddamn time on this show, so
Yeah, I know, but I think the intention is that he's clearly a Centrati.
maybe he's not. Maybe that's why he's so tall. That he didn't choose to get micronized super large or micronized at all because he's not a micronized capable race. Although I guess if you believe Do You Remember Love, anybody can get macronized, which would imply that anybody could get micronized.
I mean, it happened in Delta. No, the species got macronized.
We're watching Delta.
No, Delta, no. Macross 7.
Like, what are you remembering from Delta that I've missed in 2 episodes?
No. Macross 7, what's it? Macross 7, the movie, the last movie. The guy who was the Ahab, he got actually macronized. And he was from
yeah.
another species.
The DJs you mentioned before.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Windermere has been. I already read that one. So Freya's test was one thing. Bunch of people in makeup and disguises. At worst, humiliating if she failed. But Hayate, they just asked him to join, and he nearly threw himself off of the ship to his death to prove his resolve. I mean, I'm not even sure what it's meant to show beyond said resolve. His ability to read air currents? Because all I'd see is a kid with a death wish. Worst case for him would be a long fall and a short death. Just the complete opposite when it comes to stakes. Freya's appears deadly and literally has no risk involved. Hayate's is literally no risk, and he makes it deadly.
I think he's an adrenaline junkie at heart. I think that's why he's never. Yeah. So he's looking for that thrill. That's why all these jobs that he had before, they never satisfy him, right?
Well, again,
and that's why
my thing here isn't really shitting on Hayate about this. It's just the juxtaposition that Freya's appears to be deadly at first, and in fact, there's no risk at all. It's just a bunch of actors. And Hayate says, literally, I'm asking you to join. And Hayate is like, let's make this a little bit more dangerous. And he makes his deadly.
He does it because Britain says, like, this is going to be dangerous. You could die at any moment. You got to be willing to sacrifice. And like, oh.
Yeah, but no, they've literally already come to him to ask him. So literally, they all, as he points out, you came to me. So he didn't have to. It's like, oh, it's deadly, huh? Well, let me prove how much I don't care about that. Again, it's just the juxtaposition of hers seems deadly. It's not. His isn't deadly. He makes it deadly. So there's no threat for her. There's no threat for him. Except hers never had any threat. He makes it a threat.
Also, the whole thing that
it'd be like if you went to a job interview. Like, we went to job interviews, right? And you went to go interview at some retail store, and I went to go interview at some security firm, right? And the security firm, I go there expecting to be tested on my acumen on being able to stop people, and all they say is, welcome aboard, or whatever. And you go there, and they ask you, what are you going to do if someone tries to rob the store, and you pull out a fucking gun and Cobra on everybody? It's like the juxtaposition of the two things.
And then I get the job.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Oh, God, man, we don't need to hire anybody else.
This guy's hardcore.
Make this guy manager. No one's going to be robbing from us.
Call an ambulance. Not for me.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying that's the juxtaposition here of danger to presentation. Anyway, that's my last note.
I'm done with the notes as well.
All right, well, I guess all that said, let's go ahead and hop on into it.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
Well, good thing you're not joining the fucking army, then. We call this the Air Force. And that's where last episode ended.
Yeah.
ドンパチしたいわけじゃない。俺は空を飛びたいだけだ。飛びたいだけ。そう。それじゃあ。
I was saying, let me throw you over the edge. It's like I already did that.
どう？空を飛んだ感想は？いい感じに気持ちいいってね。
Sorry, erase the music from that part of the episode and replace it with Jizzed in My Pants. The Lonely Island Crew song. Oh, now you can't fail. You're wearing a flight suit. That thing looks easily like you could stand in front of a hose with that thing.
Well, sure, you don't want to get puke on over it.
Why not? You can literally just spray them with a hose. It feels like it would come right out. Like, I don't know what they're designed for stain-wise, but it very much appears in the show. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. There's going to be so many alien species here. Like,
Yeah.
It's not like Guvava, which is like the only weird alien thing.
Yeah.
As I
Okay.
said, she's a mechanic. And
Yeah.
that was the Basara moment. As a reminder, we do have to talk over the opening still.
I know.
But
It's interesting that these guys, the knights, I think the knights applies to all of them, use more holographic technology than the Valkyrie, the regular.
Well, they don't.
In the cockpit.
Yeah, but I'm saying, you're saying they use more holographic technology.
Yeah.
No, they don't. All the Valkyrie thing do is holographic technology.
Yeah.
It's not even comparable. Like, literally, there's like 17 versions of them dancing around holographic figures of little flying wedges.
Mm-hmm.
They use like 1,000 times more holographic technology than anybody in the universe that we've seen so far.
Kinoku Cafe. Kinoko. Is he drunk?
Yo.
なんだ、まだラグナにおったんかね。あ、この制服って。
ああ、俺デルタ招待に入ったから。
え、なんでまた？
そっちこそオーディション受かったんだって。
So he heard about her, she didn't hear about him.
Yeah.
Chuck. Buccaneer? I don't think that's Buccaneer.
Yeah, I think it is Buccaneer.
No. Buccaneer has redder hair and is much more demure. I think if that's anybody, it's probably one of the front desk girls. Rag Nanyan?
Yeah, it's Sea Kitten, I suppose. That's what it's supposed to be. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the yeah.
So there must be that servant girl is also here. Because those are the kids I was talking about being just dealing with one guy. I think that's her, actually. She looked a lot less thick in the picture in the opening.
Wow, this guy like this sea kitten thing.
Oh, maybe that is Buccaneer. Her hair looks a lot redder now that she's like in the light.
And he's allergic, of course.
Well, we saw him sneezing in episode 1. 2, episode 2. Messer. See? I told you. That was her.
ちょうどよかった。一緒にご飯食べていかない？
いえ、自分は済ませてきましたので。
そう、また今度ね。
Yeah, this guy is not 6'7" compared to that other guy.
I just told you what the thing said.
Yeah.
こっちになりやした。また明日。ああ、食べた。気をつけて帰ってね。あの二人ね、一緒に暮らしてるのよ。へえ。三雲さんはどこに住んどる？さあ、私も知らないのよね。
You're the commander, though.
Yeah, but she's also wandering all the time. Like I said, she's very Basara-like. And Miraj's pet. I forgot that was Freya for a second. I'm like, how are you just meeting her for the first time?
Oh, yeah, he's the tsundere of the show, yeah.
一緒に暮らす以上、フレイヤさんにもルールは守ってもらいます。朝のゴミ出し、掃除当番、料理当番、洗濯当番、買い出し当番、お菓子当番、キュルルの世話係。
お
Sure, I'll be in charge of buying snacks and doing the shopping. How about that?
どこに消えた。ハヤテイメルマン候補生、出てきなさい。
Ah, you were instantly proven wrong. He is more Basara than Hikaru.
Well, he wasn't. He was always fighting with Misa, so.
Yeah, but he didn't not show up for boot camp. You really got to remember to spread out the pinky and the thumb, otherwise it becomes a heil, and you don't want to do that.
Ah, you seeing Yes, he is very much a Mekotaku, yeah.
I haven't seen any Gerwalk in a long time.
We saw Gerwalk.
When was the last time you saw Gerwalk?
In the first episode. Second episode, actually.
Gerwalk?
Yeah, Gerwalk is a mode, it's not a type.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, mode. All I said was Gerwalk. I didn't say type, I just said Gerwalk.
Yeah, we saw Gerwalks in the fight multiple times.
I don't remember it. I don't remember Gerwalk. And I can't remember Gerwalk in Frontier for some reason. Probably happened in Frontier, I just don't remember it.
Yeah.
Oh, kind of like a stealth bomber. Need the computer aid a little bit.
Well, it's inherently unstable. That's why it needs fly-by-wire.
No,
Otherwise,
that's
it wouldn't
literally
fly at all.
what I just said. Since you're explaining to me the concept I said in a sentence with more words. Why would you even want it? I can imagine the thing you're allergic to putting its mouth all over your food. It's gonna be worse for you if you caught it. So we're doing the Rocky thing. We didn't have any chickens, so we went with catfish. I mean, legit, this thing just has to piss while you're chasing it and you've lost. Oh, I guess that goes for everything, really. When the cops are chasing after you, just remember to piss and get lost.
Oh, God.
Why? What? They're the best band in the universe.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are. They're so successful, they've broken the fourth wall and are selling extra stuff outside of their own series. How long until we hear Hayate sing? Or, not even sorry, not even sing. Listen to my song. I defend, they attack.
最終試験？
はい。
で、誰が相手をするんだ？
私が戦います。
Legit sounds like a lose-lose for you. Either
Why
he
is it?
succeeds, and you get shown up by the new guy, or he fails and you lose as a teacher.
I think he wants to watch him out. That's what she wants.
That's what I just said. She's responsible for him as his teacher, so she loses if he fails, and she looks bad if he wins.
No, because I think she thinks that he doesn't fit, so he wants to watch him out.
I feel like you're not paying attention to anything I'm saying.
Yeah, I know, but still.
Now here you crunch.
Okay.
なんでかな。フォールドレセプターは私たちの精神に呼応して生体フォールド波を発生させるもの。戦場や命がけの状況で精神が高まった方がより力を発揮する。
That face I was talking about.
本番じゃないとダメなタイプかもね。
足元が見えていないのよ。空ばかり見上げていても飛べないわ。
Okay.
Joke's on you, I was fully clothed underneath this towel.
Yeah.
あいつ逃げ足早いよな。ああ、だが動きは見切った。今度こそはシュバッと。シュバッと。そっちはレッスンどうなんだ。
ゴーリ楽しいよ。毎日ルンルンで疲れちゃうくらい。
羨ましい話だ。
そういや、今度最終試験あるんやろ。いいんか遊んどって。
なんかしっくりこなくてさ。あん時はさ、初めて空を飛んだ時、お前の歌が聞こえて風が吹いて、すげえ気持ちよかった。
But why did you pull out your necklace?
ま、ここで終わるわけにもいかないし。
Thought he was going to explain what the fucking necklace meant because I've been wondering the whole time. It was in my initial notes.
お前笑うと気持ち悪いよな。
なんて？
何をヘラヘラしてんだが。
あんたが試験に落ちるところ思い浮かべてたんよ。
絶対落ちねえ。
That would be a perfect time to sing What About My Star?
制限時間は5分。一発でもミラージュに当てりゃハヤテの勝ちだ。ハンデとしてハヤテの方は何発食らってもよしとする。審判はメッサー。
That doesn't make any sense.
すれ違った瞬間から試験スタートだ。
了解。
If she can land any number of hits, the test only ends when he's successful.
And within the time allotted, 5 minutes. If he doesn't do it in 5 minutes, he loses.
But how does that test anything, though? What time is he going to be fighting a Valkyrie that can take infinite hits? He's going to finish this exam with a purple Valkyrie. Wow, it's literally getting darker than normal. She's got negative fold symbol.
適性のないものを合格させても戦場で命を落とすだけ。ならば
Not unfair.
You're the one who vomited.
Well, you vomited on her.
Yeah.
Again, standard practice for him now to make a non-deadly situation deadly.
Yeah.
了解。ダメです。サポートだけでなく遠隔操作も切られています。
あのバカ。召喚および救護班緊急待機。
了解。
Can you fly? What were you thinking of doing right now? Running all the way to the scene of the crash?
あなたの戦場はどこなの？私の戦場？そっか。颯も今戦って。
Okay, it's like a creepy Joker-esque smile.
Okay. Of course.
I mean, literally, anyone who's gotten Joker toxin has that same rictus grin on their face that she gets when she starts singing. Okay, legit, Hayate deserves to fail this test. His one move was, I'm gonna turn off the AI and remote controls, and then instantly was unable to do anything. Oh cool, let's take the mask off too.
Yeah, without oxygen, you're gonna drown.
Well, just legitimately, he's doing everything wrong up until she helps him out.
Yeah.
Well,
there
you're
you go.
walking. Legitimately, though, at the moment, worst pilot in the series.
Mm-hmm.
Which I guess is different. Everyone else has been, like, the best from the beginning.
I mean, Hikaru was already a pilot. Isamu was already in the service. Basara was... Basara.
Yeah, Basara was a literally guitarist. So
And also... And Alto was training for that as well. Oh, he pulled out the
air scoop.
Yeah.
Legitimately, this is just a bad call. This dude is bad.
Yeah.
And the test was weighted so heavy in his favor.
True.
Legitimately, it wasn't even a deadly test. He made it deadly. Also, this isn't part of the test. You can shoot me all you want. I still don't fail. Yeah, again, not part of the test.
Yeah, but he's making a point.
Also, I'm not the plane, so you hitting me with paintballs doesn't mean a thing to me. I can just hit the AI button and land.
Yeah, no, but the point is that he was not paying attention.
Yeah, but also the point is, it didn't matter. You're not shooting me with anything but paintballs.
What do you mean it doesn't matter? It's the point is that he
Doesn't
would have died
matter.
with
He
real
didn't-
ammo.
He didn't care. I don't care. Hayate's like, oh god, you're right. I didn't think. No, Hayate was like, fuck it. Next scene. If the characters don't fucking care, then why do I care? No shit, we saw that last episode. Turns out, not a seagull, it's an albatross, and it's been a bad sign this whole time.
Yeah, this is not... Wow. Okay, using the whole real world...
It was the same
with
thing. I
animation,
was going to make notes about the end credits the same way I did the opening, but there's like nothing here. So
No, this is just pictures in Tokyo, basically.
Except maybe a one scene that really reminded me of Assassination Classroom's ending credits, but like not worth taking a note for.
Yeah.
Like I said last time, the show is fun. Even if it doesn't have anything else going for it, at least it's fun. Well, because I mean, like... Well, just imagine the shows you didn't like in the Macross series. Now imagine they at least had fun quality to them, like stuff that you didn't like, but at least they were having fun, and that you could feel that fun being had. Then the stuff you didn't like wouldn't matter as much because you could still say I enjoyed the episode, even if it didn't add anything or make sense.
I mean, this episode was kind of dumb in that the only way Freya can actually get excited is with putting to herself or someone else is in danger, right?
Then you see her own face. Oh, this is the only part that matters. And I mentioned this before, and for some reason you didn't understand why I said it was important.
I think this is more important.
Oh, we're actually getting an end of credit thing. Yeah. It's like the one shot we got last episode. I was right.
Oh,
and it was her health. I was right. Double down.
Okay, but why? Why do you want to do that?
Oh, I mean, I anticipate that Heinz is the person that we were seeing in the cave before, or whatever that long staircase thing was that was causing the VAR syndrome to begin with. That's my interpretation.
Why they're doing it.
Oh, I have no fucking idea. Why? Again, this is what I was going back to before. It's a feel thing. I feel this is the case, but at the same time, it's what I was talking about before when it comes to like being a good detective. Anybody can blame the butler. A good detective will have a reason, motivation, murder weapon, whatever.
Yeah. Clearly, I think they want to stop the spread of Earth culture, and I think that's what they're trying to do.
Well, they had a war of independence, so clearly they already have an enemy. So, but there's also, again, the illness thing. Could be this is a product of that whole fold resonance thing that we're talking about. That the illness that Heinz has is the VAR syndrome, and that their singing spreads the illness they have to anybody that hears it.
Which begs the question, why do that?
Maybe they're trying to lure in Valkyr. Maybe they are in such a political position that they can't bring in outside Earth forces. And that this is their only solution is to trick Valkyr into coming there.
So basically they're doing this, say, exciting terrorism so that they don't have to make a phone call?
Yes. Well, I mean, yeah, no, I guess that's how it boils down.
That's pretty fucking dumb if that's what's going on.
Well, politics tends to be pretty fucking dumb, so...
yeah.
You tie your hands because you can't do something that the rest of your people would see as a betrayal of your own thing, even though it's something you believe in, because you have to represent the will of the people. However, this seems to be some sort of monarchy, so I don't even know if that applies. Again, I'm just trying to reach out with the information that I have on hand, which is to say they fought a war of independence, which means that they view the outside as their enemy. They don't want Earth culture present, which implies that Earth culture is something that they can't bring on board, meaning they can't bring Valkyr here, which is because it's essentially exactly everything they fought against, right? It'd be like, oh no, I have this incredibly rare disease, and the only person that has a cure for it is Mengele. It's like, fuck, what do I do now?
Oh, you could meet in secret in a third position. Like, okay, I'm not going to do this in my planet. Take her another place. Oh, she's gonna and meet secretly there, get the cure, and then come back.
Maybe they can't. I have no idea. Again, all I can do is present the facts and how they align as I see them now. Obviously, the more facts we get, the less aligned that will be, and a new alignment of facts will occur.
How many episodes is this a show? 25, right? 20, 30?
I would assume 26 off the top of my head. 26, yeah.
Let's see how that goes.
Well, I mean, everybody said you probably weren't going to like it, and I was, so, I mean, it's the way of things.
I mean, I'm not hating it right now, but if it's just relying on dumb plot points, then yeah, at some point I'm going to go like, yeah, could have been better. It could, it has the feeling of, I think if we we're not watching it now, folks, watching it, we're recording separately, but simultaneously. See Destiny, which started very strong, and then it was like, yeah. Then I'm like, yeah. This kind of feels like it could go in that direction, right? It's like, oh, it has an interesting concept, terrorism, the Walkur, the music, blah blah. Oh no, we're killing a bunch of people because we couldn't just call phone home.
Theory.
Yeah.
That's still just theory, though. Don't shit on the entire show for essentially a fan theory right now. Also, this could just be like the first arc, right? Like Hikaru and Minmay meeting each other for the first time.
Yeah. But the testing for both of them was kind of dumb.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. Well,
yeah.
Technically, she got tested last episode. This was just her lessons. This had nothing to do with her getting tested.
Yeah.
His testing was dumb.
Yeah. Hers made more sense because it's what she's expected to do, right?
Yeah. Also, they're indicating that her power comes forth when she's in danger.
Or someone else is in danger. In this case, Hayate. But I'm not even in danger, I guess, losing. It would have been interesting if he actually did watch out, right? And say, okay, does he come back later on? But here, of course, we know that he's not going to do that. So
Mirage's intent was to wash him out.
Yeah.
Obviously, Arad's was not, considering the parameters of the test. Mm-hmm. But as I said, it was a lose-lose for her. It reminds me of Mushoku Tensei's second season, which features Rudy having to enter the Magic Academy, and the test he has to perform at the Magic Academy is against, the real name is Sylphette, but they're going by a fake name at the time, and I can't remember what it was. Because she's acting as the bodyguard for a princess who's, had to run away from her country because of the assassination attempt against her. Anyway, they have put in the good word for Rudy because they're a childhood friend. So they want Rudy to succeed to be able to join the academy, which means that they have to defeat them in the test. But they have such a reputation of being such a good bodyguard that being defeated by some new person would then ruin that reputation. So to achieve what they want, they have to lose, essentially, but they don't actually have to lose because Rudy's just that good. But the idea is, if you lose, your reputation gets ruined. If you win, Rudy doesn't come into the school, so you lose. It's a lose-lose. Same thing here. If she wins and he gets washed out, then as a teacher, she's a failure, and everyone's going to know that. If he wins and he beats her, then her reputation gets ruined, and it's a lose for her too. It's a lose-lose situation.
Oh, I think the only thing he loses is he watch out is I'm never going to be assigned to be a teacher again. Great.
Except that Arad put you in his confidence. The commander of the squadron put you in his confidence to get this guy on board because he went out of his way to bring this guy on board. I expect you to teach him, and your failure is a failure to me, your commander, not a failure in your ability to teach. I had faith in you, and you squandered that faith. Especially if random guy is seeing you fuck up on the battlefield, you gotta believe Arad's seeing shit like that. So, that faith is going to be necessary for your continuation here in Delta Squadron. So don't squander that faith. It's a lose-lose.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, it's not a lose narratively. Narratively, the loss is the whole fucking situation, because, as I indicated in the breakdown of the opening of the show, there's already 5 Delta Squad members. He's already on the team.
Yeah.
So indicating that there's a possibility he could fail is a waste of time. But then again, you could also say Freya having to take a test was a waste of time because we know she's on the team too. She's in the goddamn opening. It's development of character, and as you indicated before, the other guy showing up saying, hey, you didn't think about this stuff, you don't think about that stuff. Hayate doesn't fucking care. We literally don't get a moment of him considering the other guy's words. It literally scene transitions to him fucking around with Mirage again. So he don't care about that. It's not character development for him. So it's not character development for us. We know what Messer is saying. We've experienced multiple Macross shows before. It doesn't mean anything to us. We've seen other characters go through this. Hayate didn't fucking care, so it's literally lost time for us because we didn't see any development.
Hopefully it will pay off later on, but
I assume this is going to be a Maverick Iceman situation.
I mean, yeah, but the fact of the matter is that you do see character development in that character.
No, I'm saying that's how it's going to be playing out. That Messer is just not going to like him. He's going to see him as literally this guy who almost got himself fucking killed and ruined one of their jets. And maybe by the end they become friends. Like I said, you could be my wingman any day. Whatever the fuck. But that's best case scenario. That's what we're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Top Gun came out by this, so people could have, anyone who's watching this for the jet stuff, already watched Top Gun.
Yeah. I hope they actually do salvage something out of this, because otherwise it's just dead air.
Well, it's not. It's fun. That's the point, is that the narrative might be unsatisfying, but the character interaction stuff is still fun. The music is still good.
Yeah, but if you don't give me a good narrative, which is what I'm here for, battles, it's a waste of time for me.
I've already said many times before, I don't give a shit about the battles. It's like Gundam for me. I don't care. Actually, I guess the actual equation here would be the Voltes 5. Voltes 5, the most boring shit is when the Voltes 5 machine gets into a battle. Because it's like, cool. I mean, I know how this is going to go. It's Power Rangers to the nth degree. You're going to pull out the sword, and then you're going to chop a V into the guy, and then they're going to explode, and then we're going to move back into the narrative again.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, last episode I watched was literally, the thing was only there to slow them down. Like, they're trying to chase after their father who's being kidnapped, and the Voltes machine is literally just being waylaid by the Beast machine so that they can't catch up. That's the entire point. So once the guys get away, V-shape into the thing, boom, it explodes. Oh, no, Dad, we didn't catch up with Dad. It's like, damn it. The only good part about the Voltes machine is the theme song that plays when it's forming together, and then the guy screaming, Voltes! Fuck! It's amazing. But then the fight gets boring real quick.
Well, there you have it. Our opinions on episode 3 of Macross Delta.
All right. Well, once again, I have been Theta. This has been Lessons. We've been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you once again next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?